Alright everybody, welcome to another episode of Unique Adventures. We are out here at SQUAW Rock Resort. We're going to be giving you that first-hand experience, that ruckus campground review. So let's go and get after it here. Now on the left-hand side, you're seeing they do have a restaurant here on site. We did not go to that restaurant because we had way more than enough food at our campground, but here it's supposed to be pretty good. You've got the general store right in front of you. Also have got gas available if needed. So let's go right past it here. Let's get into the camp spots. So this is 62 sites in this park, including, I want to say that's including cabins. So we're going to dive right into this here. You can see you can also get your propane filled up here too as well. A lot of tree cover here on this right side of the park. So the first sites you're going to see over here are 1 and 2. These are advertised as strictly tent spots here. Not a lot of privacy if that's what you're after here, but they look like they do have water and power. So those are 10 spots, 1 and 2. Over here on the left-hand side, you have 6. These are cabins, 6, 7, 8, I believe. You're going to have to see the picture here. Kind of hard to see on this back side. I want to say 6, 7, and 8. And 9. 6, 7, 8, and 9 for your cabins. You also have communal bathrooms with showers also right there. So we're going to start, so that now we're over here on spot, the actual RV spots here. Start counting up from 5, working around this corner here. Now I'm pretty sure from 5, at least up to where we're at 14, 15, 16, does have full hookups, which means water, sewer, and power. Sewer is the one that is not available on most of these back sites by the river, so just keep that in mind. So these sites here, you got no problems with putting pretty much anything, any size in here. I wouldn't see anybody having a problem with these earlier sites here. The one thing that you do have to watch out for is they do set these up on a pull-in, back-in setup. They do this to get more people in a shorter or a smaller amount of space. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you don't need your vehicle out, you could do a pull-in, or you may have to do some jockeying to actually get your car back out or your vehicle back out if you want to go do some exploring or whatnot. So 7, 8. I mean, the sites look fairly big. When rigs are stacked in here, though, it gets pretty tight. 10 here looks to be a little tight if you were going to be right next to that tree there. Maybe something a little bit smaller in 10. But everything from 9 to 5, you shouldn't have any problem with size there. There are a couple of spots here that you really have to you're going to have to maybe feather to get some bigger stuff in. Look at the size of this fifth wheel. It's got to be easy 40 foot plus, and they decided to pull in, and I don't know how you would get your rig out of there unless somebody wasn't in one of the spots next to you, but that's their deal. So they've got the sewer. Now the other thing to kind of keep in mind here with some of these spots, and I'm going to show you where we're at right here. So we're at, this is 11 and 12. These are sites 13 and 14, okay? So I'm in 13. 13 is a pull through. Now, your vehicle would be on the back side there. You'd have to find a way to get it out and around if you wanted to go do some exploring. Now, the other thing to note, and I'm just going to show this to you, just so it comes across the right way. So this is our setup here. We're going to open the box. Now, each team or each 2 spots share a pole, okay? You've got 30 amp, 50 amp in the middle, and 15 amp on the outside. So if the person coming first gets into that 30 amp spot, there's not a second one if you're just run 30 amp. You will want to make sure that you have the proper adapters, the dog bones, to go from 50 to 30 to be able to power your rig. Luckily, we had one. They don't advertise that here. I guarantee you in their little store there, I bet you they sell that converter, and I bank money that it is not cheap. So this is why we do these reviews for you guys, so that we can give you guys that information before you get here. So if you're coming to this park and you're 30 amp and you're like, I'm not sure if, if I've got everything, you want to make sure you've got that 50 amp to knock down, or you could be paying some money to make sure to use your power, or vice versa. Let's say you get two fifth wheels in here that need 50 amp and there's only one 50 amp available. You better at least have that step down to 30 so that you can actually at least use probably one of your generators. So 13, 14, our spot was premium. Like I said, we're 30 feet and it wasn't a big deal. Now, as this thing starts to bend around the corner here, if you got a lot more RVs in here, the sights will start to get a little bit tight, because 15 and 16 are actually back here. And like I said, it doesn't leave a lot of space. Now, there was somebody here last night and they were way, way in the back of the site. Wasn't a big deal, but they're essentially going to drive right through, our opening there. Now, we haven't spent a lot of time in our campground. We're down hanging out with our friends who are down on the river. So it wasn't a big deal for us, but that's something to think about with sites 14, probably all the way to 19, 20, that it could, things could get a little tight in there. I think it's more or less, to be truthfully honest, I think it's more or less just this corner. 19 and 20 wouldn't be too terribly bad. Pretty big spot there in 19. You could really get a big rig in here, like seriously, like 40, 50 feet, no problems. It's actually probably one of the bigger sites here. So if I had a big rig and didn't know whether or not I could swing a couple of these spots, 19 would be a really good big rig friendly site. But let's keep going. We talked enough about all the other stuff. So we got 2021. So like I said, I want to say 2021 is going to be a pull through. 22 is going to be a back in. But vice versa, whatever it is, those are still good sites and you're back on the river. Now, remind you, I'm not sure if they have sewer out here in 21, 22. We'll take I don't see it. So you lose sewer after like 15, 16. As of right now, as of this recording, July of 2020, it's only these front sites. Now, they do have dump here. So it's not that you can't dump, you just won't have sewer on site. So 23 counting up, you're going to start getting those river views at that point. And these are going to be the high premium spots to have. Obviously, you want to have all that rock face view. Not a big problem for rig size. I personally always prefer to back in versus pull through. So, on the sites it tells you which ones are pull through and which ones are back in. So we're going to get out of this guy's way here for a second. I have no idea where this guy thinks he's going. So this is the beautiful part here. We're just winging stuff on the fly while we're waiting for this guy to figure out what he's doing. Can I get through here real quick? Or not? So also make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you give that video a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment in here. Let us know what you think about SQUAW ROCK. it's been a pretty good campground for us here so far. A couple of things are kind of a little iffy with some things, but nothing that I can really complain about. So it looks like these guys are pulling into 26 here, so that'll be a back in spot for them. I'm going to try to go on the other side of them here so we don't have to wait. We're just winging all this on the fly. And so yeah, 27. And then you got 28 here. Nice little back end spot there. So I'm going to put this out here right now. Sites 29 and 30. If by some freak miracle you can get your hands on these sites, these are probably the best sites in the park. They open up, these are the only two sides that actually open up to the river, and then you get that gorgeous view of SQUAW Rock right there. So if you could snag these, you know, these are the premium spots. 29 is a pull-in, and I'm pretty sure, obviously, that 30 is a back-in. But I want to say these might be seasonal sites or extended stay sites, just for the fact that, you know, they've got fencing and all this stuff corned off here. So it may be a seasonal site, it may not be. I don't know personally. But these sites, if you could by some freak chance get your hands on one of them, uh, those are prime spots. I'm not going to give those as our Unique Adventures top spots because I'm not sure if those are always readily available. But one of those spots is actually coming up here pretty quick. So we got this here looks like a cabin. This is cabin number 11. All right. All right, so we got sites 30 here, site 31. This looks awful small. Okay, 31. I'm not sure what exactly you would fit in here. It would have to be small or it'd have to be sideways. You can see in 32, this rig is no more than 18 feet, and it's coming out to the front side here. So sites 31, probably 31, 32, 33, 34 are probably, you know, questionable on size. Now 35 and 36 over here on the left hand side, 35, 36, 37, 38. I'm not too, I mean, you can back in, you're kind of in the grass, you know, and you're kind of in this communal area. I wouldn't put these as my top choices. If you got into a pinch and you had to do it, you know, not a big deal. 35 would be better than 36. 36 buds right up to this tree here. 37, 38 would be okay for a couple bigger rigs. 37, you could fit 30 feet in there all day long. 38, probably the same. Let's come back over here to 33 over here. Now, 34. If you can fit your rig in here, and it looks like you may be able to do kind of like a sideways number here. We're going to post this right now as our Unique Adventures top site for SQUAW Rock that we know that most likely will be available. 34 feet, or sorry, 30, site 34. I could probably fit my trailer in there. 34 feet. You'd have to push it sideways, but I'm pretty sure you could do it. And look what you're looking out to. You would open your door out to SQUAW Rock, which is right there, right outside your door. You're in the shade. 34. It's a preem site. I would dig this site right here. You know, you just got that view. You also got a little bit of grass area here in between too, if you wanted to play some cornhole or, you know, do some activities and stuff. Grass around here is not easy to come by at this place, so I think this 34 is probably a pretty prime spot. We're coming right up through here now. We're gonna have cabins on your left, cabins on your right, 5 and 6 on your right, and which ones are these? This is 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3 here on your left, 5 and 6 on your right, and you'd still have that good view. I'm assuming this space out here is kind of communal, for, you know, that spot, and also for the cabin sites here. So not too bad. If you wanted to rent a cabin for the weekend, you didn't have an RV, you could still come up here and stay. We're going to come around the other side here. Basketball court, playground area right there. You've also got the pool on the other side. It is not in use right now just because of the times. Let's get you into these next row of riverfront sites. 39. Um, I'm wanting to think 39 is it is a pull through. Um, it might be a, yeah, I think it is a pull through the way I'm looking at it. We're going to put this in second place as our unique adventure sites to have. You got that tree for some shade. You're still getting that view of SQUAW Rock, plus you probably could use a little bit of that communal grass area over there too. So we're going to put that up. Now, coming back around this corner here, these sites are a little bit tricky, okay? Not that you can't fit a bigger rig in there, you can, but the way the road turns in here, it makes it very interesting on how you're going to be able to get, you know, backed into these spots. Site number 40, you can fit anything in there. 40 foot plus, you're good to go. Site 41, same deal, big rig, not a problem. Once you start getting into 42, things start getting a little bit more dicey. You've got two trees to contend with, but if you can, I would assume you would come this way and then back in, and you could be right up to the river there, 40-foot site, no problem. The big spot here that I would see anybody having an issue with is going to be site number 43, which splits these two trees right in half. The site's big enough to put something really huge back there, but you are going to have a lot of issues with maneuverability to get it back there. You are going to have to be probably fairly skilled to get into 43. Not going to lie. Now, even the rest of these sites down here, there's still a lot of jockeying and maneuvering because you don't have a lot of room on this front side. You're going to have to hook in real tight. Depending on if people are already here, I honestly wouldn't put anything in any one of these sites larger than 30 feet, and only at 30 feet if you really know what you're doing. So you got site 44 and 45, fairly big, but you still have that jockeying, maneuvering, you know, kind of deal. That's like 46 where my buddy and is at, and this is kind of where they all own this weekend. And if you haven't yet, you can check out that vlog video, or I think we got one or two videos that we're going to post from this weekend where we've been just killing it all weekend long. But 46, 47, 48, we had 30-foot fifth wheels in here, not a problem. I wouldn't do much bigger than 30 feet in 47 or 48. And everybody is still sitting here hanging out. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's having a good time. And so site 40, 49, you could probably fit something a little bit bigger into, but they got 30 feet there holding it down like a boss. And you could probably go a little bit bigger there. And then you've got 50 on this side. This is also one of, I believe this is somebody that's in our group as well, 50. And, you know, you can get into these three sites here, I think, fairly easy. You're going to get 35, 40 plus feet in here with no problem. So 51, 52. Of course, 52 doesn't have the best view of 52 doesn't have the best view of, you know, somebody's backyard, but, you know, not too shabby. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming back. I know this looked like instantaneous, but I had to talk to the maintenance guy here for a little bit. He thought I was going to go off on the side road, and I was just kind of turned around here. He did give me some fun facts about the park, here in 2020, this establishment, the area, the buildings here are just turning 100 years old for this property. The owners that have just recently purchased this in the last 3 years, so probably 2017, have been trying to build this park back up and make it a more enjoyable place. The gentleman seemed very happy with the new owners and kind of what they're doing, which is great to see that people are taking these private campgrounds that are kind of run down a little bit, try to put a little bit more money back into them, and make them a great place for people to come enjoy. So let's finish this off here. All right. So we're gonna go. These are all pull through sites. I want to say this is gonna be 54 through 62. We'll end it out here. These are on the roadside, so just kind of keep that in mind. But they are pull through, so you're gonna have a lot easier time to get into these sites, and they're gonna be fairly big. 53. I mean, this site here is fairly big. 54, big site. You can fit, almost anything in here, 40, 50 plus with no problem. Still going to have water and power. Looks like they got a little sewer here at 55 and 56. Some of these here look like they've been here for a little bit, so I'm not sure. Some people are here kind of long-terming a little bit. I'm not sure. It just seems to give you that impression, but not necessarily a bad thing, just an observation. 55, 56. And then we've got 57 and 58. And then we've got 59, 60. And 61 rounds it out. We have gone all the way through this park, 61. Now, another little tidbit that the gentleman gave, I believe, well, first off, dump station right here on this backside here. Actually, no, I think they said they closed that, but we were able to find a couple of these other sites to be able to come dump at. They do try to make it accessible for you to try and do that. Now, back on this backside, I do here, and we have not yet been able to go down. Personally, we're going to do this today. You'll see that hopefully in one of our vlogs. We're going to go down and check it out. But down here somewhere is a swimming hole. Like a legit swimming hole in the river. It looks like they've kind of catered to it, and it'll be a cool sight to come down here, especially on a hot summer day, and get to do the swimming thing in the river. Now the river at this time, we had a little spot out there where we could go out a couple of feet, and it's not that big of a deal. You can go out there and splash around in the water, and it's maybe about a foot high in some spots, and then it gets a little bit deeper towards the middle. This swimming hole out here, it's got like 5 or 6 feet deep in there, so you can totally fully submerge at that point. But not a bad site here. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you drop us a comment here. Let us know if you've been here and kind of what you think. We're having a great time here, and it's a pretty good little private park that looks to be hopefully coming up. And I guess on that note, we'll see you in the next video.